With the Pebble Steel, it's really all about the design. After all, it's called steel because it's made of fancy, fancy steel. So if you're deciding on which Pebble to get, the steel is really all about how it looks, and it looks really, really nice. The face now has Corning Gorilla Glass, so if you drop it or for some reason you put your watch in your pocket, you are going to be protected. Or also, if you just rub your wrist against something, you've got the best from the folks at Corning here. As I mentioned, it's made with stainless steel, and it's got a more professional look to it. I really like that it comes with either the metal band or the leather band. You can sort of have a pick of which one you want. It comes with both of them, so you can decide if you want that more metal, metallic look, you want to go more casual with leather, you've got the choices here with that as well. It's also available in a black matte. We have the brushed steel here as well. Though the bands no longer use open standards. Pebble did release 3D render, so third-party bands will be coming, but just not as many as the 22mm bands on the original Pebble, which is pretty much standard for all watch bands. So if you like a lot of customization in your bands, then the Pebble Steel might make you have a bit of a frowny face. One issue I had with the original Pebble was the magnetic connection was really, really weak, and that's of course what you have to use to charge it. So Pebble listened and agreed, and they fixed it out with the Pebble Steel. It's now way stronger. In fact, you could dangle the watch weight just with the magnetic connector. So that's so much better. It made me quite happy. Also new to the party here is a tricolor LED, so you know when the watch is indeed charging. It's not going to blink though when you get notifications. It just lets you know that it's charging, and it's tricolor, so if you like different colors, you've got that option there as well. So with all this niceness, including the Corning Gorilla Glass and stainless steel, comes at a price. It is $249, or also known as $100 more than the regular Pebble. Functionally though, it's exactly the same. It's the same UI and the same internals as the original Pebble watch. So really all you're paying for is aesthetics only. You're not getting any sort of additional functionality other than the magnetic connector and that tricolor LED. Because it's the same though, most of this will sound familiar from our original Pebble coverage. Battery life has been exactly as advertised, which is not very common in the mobile world industry. They advertised 5 to 7 days, and I got pretty much exactly 5. I do use Pebble Card, which does pull in some data, so that could drain battery life a little bit more. In the original Pebble OS, if you wanted a data connection, you needed a third-party HTTP app, but no more with OS 2.0, which I found to be a really, really welcome addition. I think Pebble did a really elegant job integrating that. It does create 2 separate Bluetooth connections, though, in case you look at your phone and you're like, why do I have 2 here? Pebble watches can now accept apps, and with all app stores, your usage is really going to vary. For me, though, Pebble Cards have been a really, really killer app. You can customize whatever you want to show. So I've got stock prices, I've got Laker scores, which is usually a loss, I've got battery, and I've got local weather. It's just a really, really nice app. You can customize it completely, so you can see things sort of changing there. And you certainly can see the last Laker score and what's coming up next. Usually has not been very good, though. So aside from Pebble Cards, the apps I've really found useful have been Tetris and a Flappy Birds clone, so you can get your game on. There's an accelerometer built in here, so you can move it. If you want to play Asteroid, there's a ton of fitness apps. Really, your use again is going to vary. You can choose whatever you want from the app world. So an interesting thing with the Pebble, in the tech world, there's an obvious emphasis on touch control, screen resolution, and raw horsepower. How many cores it has, how many gigs of RAM. Pebble took a very, very different approach, which I thought was refreshing. They don't have any of that. It's got physical, big, clicky buttons, not much in the way of raw specs. It's a black and white screen, which is essentially just e-ink. And just notifications machine, but somehow it really, really works. When smartwatches first started to be a thing, I was not overly jazzed on them. I didn't see much of a point. So why look at my watch, I just look at my phone, or why pay for a watch, I just look at my phone. But the more I use smartwatches, and the Pebble in particular, the more I finally got it. If you're like me, I'm sort of always having to check my phone for email, whether it's to see what's going on with Techno Buffalo or contracts, whatever it might be. When I'm at home or out in public, it's really rude to always be checking my phone, and I try to do it as little as I can. But with the Pebble, it just vibrates on my wrist. I can see if it's an important email or someone just telling me I won, a Nigerian lottery, and it doesn't require my immediate attention. So it's been a very nice, welcome addition from that front. So again, your use might vary. If you like to look at your phone, then you might not find use for this. But if you don't want to pull your phone out as often as you like, the Pebble is a really, really good option. So for all those positive things, though, the Pebble Steel is not without its faults. It's got a really, really sharp bezel. On the top and the bottom, if you drag your finger over the screen, when you get to where that steel actually hits, it's quite sharp, and that's on the top and bottom and left and right. You can really feel it. I don't know if it's sort of first batch of construction or a quality issue with the watch, but you really definitely notice that. It's also certainly pricey, $249, but when you buy this, you know what you're getting. You're spending an extra $100 because you want the metal look. So I can't really knock it for that. People know what they're getting when they pay for this. I'm not a big fan of branding on the front, but that might be more of a personal thing. Also, I've got just normal man arms with normal dude hair, and it kept pulling the hair out of my wrist. I kept getting caught in the link. So if you're a super hairy guy, you might run into trouble, or you can just, wax your arms. But again, these are all really, really minor things. For most people, though, when it came down to deciding which Pebble to get, and you decide that you want one, do you want the original Pebble or do you want the steel? I'd probably recommend the original Pebble and use extra $100 and maybe buy a metal watch band or two, and end up saving maybe $50 or so on the whole deal. But if you're professional, You want that leather look, you want the metal look. You're going to get a really, really good product here with the Pebble Steel. It's going to be the watch that's going to grace my wrist for the foreseeable future, and I've really been happy to wear it. I look forward to putting it on. I like the cool professional look on it. I like sort of the industrial steel appearance of it. I know some people in the office preferred the leather, so you've got those customization options. It gets a really, really solid 8.5 and definite recommendation from me. So if you guys are looking for a smartwatch, really look no further than one of these two guys, the Pebble or the Pebble Steel. It's a refreshing difference from what other smartwatches are doing. I look at the Sony Smartwatch 2 or the Qualcomm Talk. This one's not all about specs, it's all about the functionality. And I like you can see it in direct sunlight because of that sort of e-ink display. There's no issue with it at all. I like how you access the backlight. It's got accelerometer, so as you sort of flick your wrist up, it'll light up for you. I like to get notifications. It's a subtle sort of vibrate on the wrist. You can choose to ignore it or not ignore it. I think Pebble did a really nice job with this, and I'm excited for what's next from the company. So what do you guys think about the Pebble Steel? Do you agree with my assessment of smartwatches? Do you think they are awesome and make you way less rude? Do you think they have zero place on anybody's wrist and you look absolutely stupid wearing them? Either way, I'd love to hear your thoughts, or even if you fall somewhere in between, leave the comments down below in this general region. Please give the video a thumbs up. We always appreciate it. And until next time, I'm John Renton from Techno Buffalo. I'll talk to you next video. What's up, everyone? Thank you for watching that video. If you want to see more of the latest and greatest tech news, you can subscribe to our main Techno Buffalo channel by clicking the button right down below in my pants region, or click on the buttons to your right to see more videos.